Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to take today to share the latest and greatest development kind of in the projects that I've been playing around with on the side. I love to explore, different things with AI and just, some of the tools that are out there. So one thing that I've been wanting to do is to kind of make a desktop assistant. I've seen people do it. And so something that I was interested in trying my hand at. And so I kind of found an option that was in my wheelhouse, something that I could actually do. Um, and I was using for this one, it's called VRoid Studio, as you can see, to model the character. And then I also use something called AIRI AI. Um, and that's kind of the brain to it, that kind of animates the character. But we can get into all that stuff later. Um, but I just kind of want to take you through a walkthrough of kind of the steps that I did, and even the downloads of what I used, just in case you're interested in trying it out for yourself. Very fun to play with. So let's go ahead, let's dive into it. Let's start out. So you go to VRoid Studio, and you're just going to click on that. You're going to bring up the web page, and it's pretty simple. You do have to download it, and I'm on my Mac, but they have the download for Windows. You can even do it in Steam or in the App Store, and it doesn't take that long. It took like a minute and a half for me to download it. But then once it goes ahead and download, you just want to open it up, and it pops right up here. And then we're just going to open VRoid Studio, and you've got all the little pop-ups that are going to come up, when you first sign in. So just go through all of that. And they even provide you, with, kind of instructions, a guide on how to use it. One thing that's really cool about it is it says you can use the avatars that you make in VRoid Studio for both profit and non-profit purposes. So you can use them for VTubing if you want to do something like that and monetize it. Very cool. There are a lot of options for it. You can kind of decorate your character a bunch of different ways, which is really nice. They have a lot of options for you, and even if you're interested in that community itself, you can do like AR pictures. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and let's create our character. We want to make it a guy, and we're going to come in. And so the first thing, they have some preset faces that you can use, and you can just kind of, part of the fun of it is looking through all the options that they have. So you just kind of take a minute to familiarize yourself, just kind of look at the different options they have, kind of pick out what you like, kind of experiment with a few different things, a few different looks. The face shape too. You want to make sure that you pay attention to the face shape. And you have these little sliders over on the right that we'll get into, where you can adjust things. So first of all, the eyes, you can adjust the position of the eyes up and down on the face, kind of how far apart the eyes are. And as you can see, I encourage you to explore all the different options for the eyes. They have some really fun ones in there. So definitely check that out. And then, of course, with your eyes, you can kind of like customize them more. This is just the pupils. They've got lots of different options again. And you can change the eye color. So you just come over here to our color wheel, our nice little color wheel, and you can adjust it. Lots of colors to choose from. And then of course you've got your eyebrows, got to create some expression there. I really love, how you can vary it, how many options there are. You come in, you have of course your nose and your mouth that you can adjust, to suit your character as well. And one thing I do want to say too is like you can customize things here. So there are ways to do that. I'm not going to do it here because I don't have the technical expertise and the skill, and I will mess things up. But it is an option. And then we come over here, you can pick your hair. You can choose the color of that, the front and the back of the hair, and even, you can adjust the different pieces of hair, which I do. I'm just not showing that because it was very time consuming. But that's an option too. And then of course you have your body adjustments, like your height, kind of like how broad your shoulders are, torso to leg measurement, all that good stuff. So, I mean, like I said, very great how many customization features they have. And even you can choose your accessories here. Put some glasses on your characters, and they have cute little animations. But yeah, once you're done with that, you want to go over to AIRI AI. And we're going to hook our character up after you've saved it as a VRM file. And this is on GitHub. If you're not familiar with that, like, it's not scary. You just make your account, you just go on here, and down at the bottom here, you can download it. And this is kind of like what's going to bring your character to life. So they have it for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, whatever you want for mobile. It's super fast to download. So you're just going to let that download for a second and then pop it open. Yep, and again, this is going to require you, to make an account and everything. So you just go through all the setup features, right? And over on the right, you'll see the girl who is, she comes with it. She's the default avatar, very cute, but this is like, right, you can already see, this is like a little desktop assistant who kind of shows up, and you can talk to them either through chat or through voice. There are a lot of setup options for that, which we'll get into as well. So it does take like a little bit of setup, maybe more than a little bit, but as is with everything. So we're going to open the settings here, and if you go down to models, you can select your models. So for me, I am adding my VRM model. You can see right here, I'm just bringing in that VRM file, and it's right there. You can also do live 2D models. They support both 2D and 3D models. So just, helpful to know. They have some options down here you can kind of look through. That's very technical though. I'm not going to get into that. And then if you go to modules, you'll see consciousness, speech, hearing, vision, artistry, short-term, long-term memory, all of that stuff. So this is kind of where you want to hook up the different AI pieces that are going to power your character. So going into consciousness, I have an OpenAI account, which you would need if that's what I think you can just use AIRI if you want to, which is the default. But I have OpenAI. It requires your API key, which sounds scary. It's not. You pick your model. Down here, they have a lot of different ones, so this is like the brain. So you don't want to do like text to speech necessarily, that you want to save that for speech. I'm going to go with good old chat GPT 4.0 because that's the GOAT right there. So then after you've done consciousness, same thing. Now you're going to go to speech, which is going to be your text to speech model, right? It's taking text, things that you input, and it's making it into a sound for your character, their voice. So again, I'm going to go with OpenAI because I have an account, I have an API key, which, just as a heads up, when you get an API key, it's like a one and done. They show you one time, so you better write that thing down, save it somewhere, because it will never show you again. But yeah, pick your text to speech option there. I picked the HD. And then you can choose your voice. OpenAI has several voices here. I went with Echo because that was closest to the sound that I was going for. And then you can test out the voice over here on your right if you want to, just to kind of get a feel for what each of them sounds like. But yeah. And then you want to go to hearing. So this is, how your character is going to perceive you, like what you're saying if you're speaking to it. again, you choose your provider for it. Then you choose your model. Not super important what you choose. I've never done Whisper. I was just like, that sounds good. We'll go with that one. Then, you can test over here your text to speech. So you can talk into your microphone. Just, it's going to make sure that it understands what you're saying, right? And then up here also, you can monitor, just to make sure that it's hearing your voice and everything. You can see the decibels. It's adjusting whenever you speak. Yeah. Vision. So that's interesting. Well, let's go to artistry first. So for artistry, this is just like if you're going to ask your little assistant here to generate an image. So then we go to vision. I imagine this is like if you want the character to track your movements, which I don't think I'm going to get into all of that. That's a little complex, I think, for this little demo that I'm doing. But yeah, that might be something to look into. And then long-term memory, short-term memory, it's still a work in progress, it looks like, but might be something that you would be interested in, if you want your assistant to remember your conversations. And then you can even hook it up to Discord, or I think, if we go back here, Twitter's listed on there, Minecraft. So I think it can like play games and things alongside you if that's something that you want to do. And then you can come over here in the chat, and you can talk to your little digital assistant now that it's all hooked up. And you can have a nice little conversation. You can copy or delete messages, So one other thing that I wanted to mention too is this card up here. So the default personality is Raylu, and it talks about kind of what AIRI means, where it comes from, AI, and Ri, which means Jasmine in Japanese. But, for your character, you can change this information, or if even you want to keep Raylu as a personality, you can go and you can create a different card. And it kind of gives you an overview of all the settings that you have there. So we're just going to create a new card, and we're going to type in all the attributes for this character that we're working on here. And you can give them a little nickname, whatever you want to call them. And then you can pop in a quick little description of whatever your character is. You can make it short or long. I don't know what the character limit is on this, actually. But we're just going to put something brief in there. Nothing too complicated right now. But if you're interested in doing something like very in-depth, yeah, go for it, right? Make it interesting. Really bring this character to life and make it yours. All right, there we go. And let's see. So if we go back up here to behavior, oh, that's cute. So these are just kind of the defaults that they have in here. And again, you put in the personality that you want this character to have. You get to decide, which is one of the great things about this is, again, how customizable it is. Like, you're really in control. You're in control of like the whole thing. So again, just like very fun sometimes to make it up as you go. And let's see, it's also got a scenario down here. Yeah, I guess that's required. It's got the little asterisk beside it. So yeah, you can just make up a scenario, whatever you want. You could be on the moon if you wanted to. You could be deep in the Amazon exploring looking for new species of wildlife, you know, whatever you want. This is your creation. You get to make it up. Not a helicopter pilot. All right, something simple. We could do a greeting, but I think we'll just leave it for now. I don't think it needs an explicit greeting necessarily. All right, and then we're just gonna look over kind of the modules that we have set up again. It's just gonna give you an overview. Just wanna make sure that we're happy with all those settings. And then there again is like for the image generation, if you're gonna ask it to generate an image for you. Yeah, we want it to answer back, you know, as though we're talking to another human. That's definitely what we're going for here. All right, so then we're gonna activate that personality here. And then we wanna have like a little chat with our character. Hey, can you tell me your favorite joke?
Of course, here's one for you. Why don't skeletons fight each other? Because they don't have the guts.
Perfect.
2026-E83. If you ever need another joke or anything else to brighten your day, just let me know. How are you doing today?
How about this? ¿Hablas español, señor?
2026-OH11. Si, Santu, in que puedo ayudar tu hoy?
So as you can see, he also has, you know, different language capabilities. So not only English, but you know, Spanish, or I'm sure. Let's throw in some Russian here. Как у вас дела?
2026-U83. Кажется, вы объясни синском. Если мы суэпсори, вы сказал глаз Бог. Спасибо большое за добрые слова. Как я помочь вам сегодня?
So how about that? You know, Russian, Spanish, any language you want, really. Anyway, that's all I have to show you for today. Just as with anything, there are really a lot of different ways that you can kind of put together these assistants like this. Really, I would love to do something more involved. But just as it stands, you know, my capabilities just aren't there yet. This is kind of a semi out of the box where a lot of people have done the legwork on this, and I get to reap the benefits of it. So thank you to all the people out there and your hard work and your smarts in the areas that I know nothing or very little about. I'm having fun playing with this stuff. But yeah, thanks for joining me for this video. I hope you go and kind of explore this for yourself and have a little fun. But yeah, have a great day. See you next time.